At Hope Church, we are always talking about what it means to follow, grow, and live for Jesus. But what does that actually look like in your day-to-day life? Follow along with me, Jenny Miles, as we talk to members of our Hope team, partners of our church, as well as staff members, as they share real-life examples of what it looks like to be on journey with Jesus. Get inspired, be empowered, and experience the joy of serving Jesus through Hope Talks. Welcome to Hope Talks. I'm glad that you guys are here. My name is Jenny, and today we are diving into the world of production. So we have our production director, Joe Carter. Christian is our sound and all things sound guy.
The DA, they said.
Yeah,
Director of
DA.
Audio. Director.
Oh, yeah.
We just made that up.
As of, yeah, something like that.
All right. Interesting. And also, Christian just won an award, a volunteer award. It Might Get Loud award.
Get loud.
Ooh,
Yeah. So he's like, he's got accolades. So he's pretty special. And then we've got Bryant Hodges, who is our experienced pastor. So it's going to be a fun hour of just chatting with you guys about production. But before we get into that, I like to get drinks for everybody. And so I had
Let's go.
our wonderful producer stop and get Salvation.
Oh, come on.
And I tried to like put feelers out on, hey, what are the drinks that these guys like? And so I was told that you two enjoy the Hustle.
Let's go.
Hustle,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know that I knew it was
See.
a cold drink. Is it
Talk to my
supposed to be
wife.
cold? I did talk to your wife.
That's
Yeah.
cold. Okay,
Okay,
anything with
here's your
coffee in it's
straws.
awesome.
And Joe,
Yeah.
of all the people at this table, you're by far the healthiest,
Oh.
right? Am I right?
Well,
Not
that's
sure.
this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a big growth moment for me because that's not been the case.
That hasn't been your identity
That's not
before.
been my identity.
Now it is. Welcome. So what this is, I don't know what this is.
Look, it has a
but
heart.
I told
All right.
It's going to be amazing.
producer that we needed a healthy drink for Joe. So
Is it a chai?
It says Fit White on here.
Let's go, Joe.
that sounds like you. Why
I'll take the
not?
identity.
Give it a shot.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So why don't you taste it and
We're
tell us what it is
unhealthy.
based on what you're
Let's
experiencing,
see.
what your
Okay.
taste.
I'll be
Let's
honest.
see what's happening. Oh, that is good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's healthy, so
Yeah,
put it on
healthy.
your regular.
Yeah, I'll put it on there.
I'm very glad that you guys are here so that our people listening know who you are. Why don't you kind of go through and just maybe who are you? Obviously, Joe, you can start with your identity as a health guru now. But
Yeah.
what else makes you tick? Like what is you in a nutshell?
So me in a nutshell is, I guess I'm a health guru now.
Yes.
I wear bandanas.
Uh-huh.
I'm the guy that decided to wake up this morning and was like, hey, this is a great idea. let's move on from hats.
We don't do hats. We do
hats.
bandanas.
We're a bandana family.
I haven't moved to that yet. I haven't got
You'll get there.
I don't
You'll get there.
pull that off.
Just give it a year. You'll get there.
Let the hair grow out.
Joe's also an influencer, so watch out. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an influencer.
I'll come out
Health
with
guru,
bandana.
influencer.
It's going to be a pack.
You have to do it, man. You have to do it.
Good there.
I feel like a fun fact, my husband would probably say you're one of the best guitarists he's ever met.
100%.
Thanks.
So maybe I think the world should probably know that too.
Yeah, I do that on the side. I don't know. I always feel, we talked about this before, but I always feel like so pretentious saying it. Like,
Say it.
okay, I'm a semi-professional musician.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, I do that on the side. I tour for an artist named Emerson Day right now. I've played for some other artists like Megan Woods and some other people that haven't gotten anywhere. So I'll mention them when they do, so you know who they are.
Emerson's the big one. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
she is. Yeah.
Very
So I do that on the side. Then I kayak, hike on the side as well, and then I have two adorable cats.
All right.
You know, just to rein it all in.
Joe, I love it. Love
Great.
it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lint brushes that made this happen this morning.
Nice. Keep those on hand. All right.
You do?
People need to know, Joe.
They do.
Love Joe.
All right. Christian, what makes you tick?
What makes me tick?
Is that a weird what
I like it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. We know.
I like it.
Christian, who are you?
In the world of sound, I guess for me, I was a
Yeah.
DJ in college, and so I can't sing. My entire family can sing. They make me jealous.
Isn't it so annoying?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
My wife sings. My daughter sings. My daughter, who doesn't sing, actually sings.
What is that?
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I sing, it's just bad. It's just really bad. And so sound kind of fell into my lap, maybe 15 years ago, where I was asked to help run some sound because I had the DJ background. And I don't know. I love it. It's my way to worship. And Have anything cool like a bandana?
But you have a cool Under Armour hat that you're
Yeah.
wearing.
I do today.
Yeah.
I do collect hats.
You have a cool
I
jacket.
collect hats. I like
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
Have like it's hidden, but you have
Oh, yeah.
one of the coolest sleeves, like tattoo sleeves I've ever seen.
That is the greatest sleeve ever.
Honestly, I wasn't going to show it today because
it's
This is a pretentious table.
Let's go.
Okay, Christian, real quick. You doing DJ stuff. We may have talked about this before. I don't remember. Did you ever do radio, anything?
not radio. Just a lot of club music. Had a production company when I was 20, and so we used to hire DJs and we would travel and do a lot of touring.
That's really cool.
Set up venues with different clubs, and fly people in. We'd have to go through the riders and work with other production companies, fly them in, promote it, the marketing piece.
What is the most obscure thing that someone has put on their router before?
They wanted a limo with a certain type of water and other things that I'm not going to talk about at church podcast.
Good call. Thank you.
Yeah, they wanted a VIP room with certain things, and they needed a certain amount of people in the VIP room, basically hyping them the entire time.
Wow. Do we know this person? You don't have to tell us. Don't.
Yeah, I
All
don't
right.
want to. There's no DJ in it. They're pretty big.
All right. Yeah. Don't tell us. That's fine. Wow.
It was. It was worth it
Yeah.
in the long run for them, I guess, because it turned out well. But at the same time, it's like, really, you want a limo with that in your limo just from the airport to the
Right here. Yeah. All right, Bryant.
Oh,
What makes you tick?
oh my gosh, a lot of things. My family. I have 3 little kids that I don't know if they make me tick. They make me tired, so that might be one thing.
tick slowly.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
tick slowly.
Yeah.
No, I like to build things. I love building pretty much anything. Cabinets, furniture, things like that. Recently, I don't know, are we allowed to say this? I don't know. We've talked about tattoos and all kinds of other.
Yeah.
I like shooting things. So like I
Tattoos, shooting.
enjoy I don't know. So
Bandanas.
Yeah.
bandanas. I don't know if that's where we're going, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy shooting things. I like to shoot pistols and things like that. I recently tried to go shoot skeet, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I feel like that is so much harder than I anticipated it being.
Yes.
It makes
I'm
me
like,
angry.
I got this. I shoot things all the time. We played like a whole. It's like a whole course. It's like 18 holes, kind of like a golf
Oh, that's
course.
neat.
And I bet
I've never been there.
100
Skeet.
targets
That's
flew. 100 targets flew, and I shot at them. I hit 5 the whole day, like the whole day. So it was
You didn't have to tell us.
It was so
That's-
sad. So my goal is to just improve. Just
Right.
like
This is accountability.
This is right. This is
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Let's start working at that. So yeah, it's
kinda
fun.
cool,
Those
though.
things make me tick. Though.
That is
It's fun.
That is really
I want to
interesting.
shoot skeet.
Yeah.
I want to shoot things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're, yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's fun when you're good at it.
Yeah, that's
Particularly enjoy being bad at things.
I was with somebody who was super good at it, and that made it even worse
Oh,
for me.
yeah.
I was like, he said
Yeah.
everything, like, and then you get up there and you just totally miss it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Why'd I even come? Yeah. That's how I feel about golfing, but I enjoy it. So whatever. Okay. Well, hey, it's really good to know you guys a little bit better. But you guys are on today talking about production, and I feel like not many people know what that is. So in Next Steps, I get the privilege when I'm leading the Next Steps class to kind of put it out there like, hey, if anybody's interested in volunteering, if that's your next step, let me tell you about these different volunteer areas. And I get the production, and really all I say is these are the people that make Sunday morning happen. And that is their, hey, do you want to be a part of that? Because that's about all I got for you. So, Joe, could you enlighten us on what exactly is production? What all does that entail?
Yeah, so basically, like how I kind of view it is like it's very like the support behind the scenes kind of role. So, like a lot of what that entails is like, we're responsible for like all of the technical aspects of what happens with like a Sunday morning, and even kind of beyond that for like events, and even a little bit kind of like outside too as well, where it's like, we're responsible for like the audio that happens so everybody can hear what's going on at a decent level, responsible for any kind of video graphics that are shown outside of here on a Sunday morning experience. And then even like, simple things such as like, lighting, making sure like it feels good in the room. and it's keeping people engaged.
Yeah.
And just to like, make things like distraction free. Because like
That's good.
at the end of the day, like our best day is when nobody knows we're here.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say, so
Yeah.
way back a long time ago, excuse me, someone described production as saying, if you notice production, there's probably something wrong.
Yes.
It really should kind of be unnoticed that
Yeah.
things are going off without a hitch
Oh yeah.
until, there's a hiccup. That's when you notice that, something happened with production.
When everybody turns around in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. It usually defaults to audio.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with audio. They know it's his fault.
Yeah. Oh, that's a Christian.
If the band hits a bad note,
Yep.
it's your fault.
It is. Yeah.
my fault.
Of course. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anything that y'all would add to what all production entails?
I think you kind of nailed it. I mean, the idea of not knowing we're there, I think is the best way to sum it up. I mean, that's if everything runs smooth and there is no distractions in the room, then I feel like we've done a good job.
Yeah. Okay, so who serves on the production team? Like, what are the different volunteer positions, roles, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we currently actively have like 10. I'm looking to possibly expand that in the future just because of the growth within our team. So
Different roles.
yeah, 10 different roles that like make a Sunday morning happen.
Okay.
So right now it's like front of house audio. So that's kind of like any kind of sound that you hear in the room. That's kind of their role.
Yeah.
Then we have CG, which fun fact, because I did not know this, it stands for computer graphics.
Come on, man.
So I learned
What do
that.
you think it stood for?
Yeah.
I have no clue. Just
Okay.
never knew for like 10 years. So I was like, I literally,
Director.
yeah, looked it up doing my research yesterday.
Yeah.
But, so it stands for computer graphics for anybody that's wondering. And basically their job is kind of to, sit in the booth and then make sure all the media kind of happens throughout the Sunday morning, whether it's lyrics, message notes, any kind of graphics you see on the screen. There's somebody firing that, making sure that happens on time when somebody needs it.
And if that's messed up, do we still look at Christian? Is that
Yeah,
usually
we
how
still
they-
look at him. Yeah, we still look at Christian for all this. Yeah, and then we have someone that runs all the lighting, like the lighting software. So we're queuing different stuff for like different songs, different kind of modes of the service. Where you need it kind of dark or even kind of lighter for like pre-service or the message. And then kind of beyond that too, we have a producer role where they're kind of like overseeing the entire production team on a Sunday morning, just kind of making sure like everybody's kind of flowing, and even kind of beyond that, making sure like hosts are in place, the worship team's in place, like kind of making sure we're hitting all the things right.
That person is like the glue.
Yes.
The glue of the morning, I feel like.
Yes. And then kind of beyond that, it's kind of where it kind of beyonds to like outside of the room a little bit, where it's like we have like, a whole online service. So we have to have a team that does all of that as well. So we have like a broadcast audio. It's literally a guy that sits in a room upstairs from here, and we'll just kind of live mix the entire service. So, because, if you just pipe a line from a board or whatever, it's not going to really sound good. So there's literally one person that's their entire role is to sit in a room for a couple hours a morning and just make sure everything sounds good online. And then we also have a video team as well. So typically right now it's 4 people running the camera throughout the service. So a couple of people on stage, a couple of people out in the crowd, just kind of capturing the room, making sure it's a engaging service online. So, people that are attending church online, they kind of know, hey, this is what the church actually looks like. This is
As
kind of like,
if I were sitting in the room.
yes.
Okay.
And even sometimes kind of a better seat for a lot of people,
Great
sometimes.
point. Great point.
And then lastly, we have sometimes it's 2 different roles. Right now we have it as one role where we have someone that's kind of a video switcher and a director, where they're kind of like calling the shots and then controlling like what camera shots going out live. So they kind of like are kind of reading the room a little bit too, as well, to be like, hey, we want to make sure that this moment's being shown at this time, or making sure like, Pastor Tad's kind of going all over the stage. We're following him.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the roles that we're doing right now.
So I had a very small period of time where I had a black shirt production
really?
shirt. Hope Team production. Yeah, that was me. Anyway, but I very much in that moment or in that season, I was there because my husband was on the worship team, and if he was going to get there early, I might as well get there early, so we wouldn't have to drive 2 separate cars.
Yeah.
But I got to be on the video, on the cameras, and I even got to do some switching.
Oh, come on.
At times.
That's awesome.
But I loved the just having headphones and getting to like usually either Jason Stalls or Chris Whittle. Somebody is like, cracking jokes
in the headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Dave used to be
Yeah.
on the video team, and so yeah, it was always. I don't know if this is like getting too behind the scenes, but like just
No, go for
trying
it.
not to laugh in the middle of the service because somebody's cracking on the mic. And
Oh,
Behind
yeah.
the scene things are actually those are the most fun. Like, so we actually just got new ClearComm units.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of people in the room that can talk to everyone in the room, which is
that's fun.
it's kind of scary, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So
Yeah.
like they all can just talk at any point in time, can just jump on there and crack a joke or just say so. But it's actually super helpful. Christian doesn't listen to it.
Like with me. I was trying to listen to sound, but I can hear them talking beside me to other people, and then I feel like I need to pick up the headphones.
And they're talking about you.
And they're
Yeah.
probably talking about me.
It really is, yeah.
Usually they're so loud too that I'm like, shh, you're not here. Like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
you got the camera switcher beside me, and she is literally talking so loud, and I'm like, the people are going to look at me. Stop.
It's gonna be dry. It's
Always
Christian.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's super fun.
And especially like speaking about jokes too, as of recording this podcast, I was wearing the producer hat this past Sunday or whatever. So I'm bringing out chairs for the message or whatever. Man, and someone just cracks the funniest joke. So like we're in like the super serious prayer moment, and I'm just like about to die laughing, grabbing these chairs.
on stage. You're
On stage, yeah. It's on camera if you want to watch that live stream. If you want to dig through the live stream on
Nice.
YouTube.
I do think it's worth noting though that like all of those people that you just talked about are volunteers.
Yes.
So it's not a bunch of people that we've hired in to do this stuff professionally. This segment, all like you were filling that producer role yesterday.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's not Joe.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do that. And so Joe most of the time on Sunday is like our floater because he understands
Each area.
each area of all those things that he just talked about. So most of the time he's like on to fix things.
Yeah.
So when something goes down,
Yeah.
Joe can run and fix it. But the producer is normally like somebody else who just volunteers, who cares a lot about making sure everything works. So it's kind of cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I will agree. When I get to walk in on a Sunday morning, when I get to walk in on that huddle that the producer is leading, it is super cool to see somebody standing up there with a mic who is not on staff, who is leading the team and leading the team well. Like it's just it's a really, I don't know, I like that dynamic. I think it's a really neat and not necessarily, that doesn't happen on every team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also just this team being so behind the scenes, like what
Yeah.
a cool thing to have ownership over. Like
Yeah.
you get to really own the morning, it feels like.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that there are several students now serving on the
Yes.
production team, which I think is super cool. I like to think that these kids are walking around with like the comms in their ears, getting to hear the behind the scenes and be a part of the behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Like the ownership that takes place at such a young age is really cool.
Oh, yeah. And that's a very special thing, too, because I used to be the student worship leader here, like way back in the day.
Right.
So, like, that's kind of like a cool kind of full circle moment for me where it's like even someone, so like our older students now, like those are students I'm leading in worship, and now we're kind of doing this whole thing together now in a whole different way.
Yeah.
So it's a very special thing to like have like even like it's very like our team's like very multi-generational. Like we literally have adults in there that could be these students' grandparents.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
They're serving together.
Yeah, and they're all like serving together, just like investing in each other even too.
And I love that you say in each other because there's always something to gain from
Yes.
the next generation, the previous generation, all of that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so thinking about Student Hope, this just kind of took me to a new place, but
Yeah.
there's also production that takes place at Student Hope. So, Christian, can you speak to like what that looks like at Student Hope? I know that you are on the.
Chaotic. I'll say that. I mean, it's basically the same thing. We don't run as we don't have any video, so there's no cameras or anything like that. So we don't stream anything in Student Hope, but there is still the audio, the lighting, CG, just all the prep that goes into it from Dustin, the leader over there. I mean, it's basically a kind of a mock of what we do in Big Church, but just do it in Student Hope, which is great for them because they get to see that side of it as well. So if they do stay with Hope Church and or live in this area and they want to continue to serve in this area, it'd be great to see them move from that direction to come into Big Church and just know it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few other roles that you would feel coming into Big Church, but it's great. I mean, I've seen a lot of the students, I mean, from just singing on stage or running the switchers or whatever they're doing, move in from students into this side of it, and it's cool to see them because they're fully engaged and they already have an idea of what's happening, which is really cool.
Confidence is
It's the
built up.
confidence, yeah,
Yeah.
big deal for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
We do
really.
need some more people to run sound so that I don't have to do that side and do it over here.
You don't want to do wear all the hats.
No,
That's
I
not.
don't want to be looked at in every place that we.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. We need
Yeah,
volunteers.
Shameless plug right
Yeah,
here.
we'll send a hope for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're good now here at this side. Joe has filled me up with a lot of people to train, so that's
On the sound side.
Oh
on the
yeah.
sound side.
On the sound side.
On the sound
Just
side.
the
Yeah.
sound side.
Just the sound.
Yeah, I don't know about the other side, but the sound side, I know.
We're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah,
We're doing pretty good.
We still need people.
We
Right.
never not need people. We're doing pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do feel like you guys have a very healthy team right now, which is
Yeah.
exciting. Okay, so Brian, you mentioned this yesterday, but the three of you guys have been together for a long time.
Really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until you said it. Yeah,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
15 years? Is that right?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yes.
Which is really cool. So I'm curious how things have evolved in that time. Production-wise. I mean, if you think back to the very beginning, okay, well that's
So that-
irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's evolved.
I did do that. I did do that.
Maybe important to know, but
Yeah.
Fun fact, though.
Fun fact.
I told him that I was going to marry his sister.
Yeah.
Even before I married.
We were friends, and then he said that, and I was like, we're not friends anymore.
yeah,
Anyway,
I was just joking.
really not friends.
I texted over, and I knew that he was like that, and everybody would joke, and so I was just joking. Hey, I'm gonna marry your sister. He's like, man, I hate you right now.
Actually, I think I said,
Oh yeah, that's probably it.
I think he was trying to PG version.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this podcast to get so.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I knew it would. I knew it would.
We've known each other
Yeah.
too long.
Right
We
back,
have-
right before we hit record, I told Jenny, I said, you're going to have a hard time reining us in.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just so you know.
I didn't realize
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what you meant by that. Okay. So anyway, the culture of production has probably evolved quite a bit since you guys all kind of got together. But what would you say are like the biggest things that this was where we were, this is here where we are now, and why it's important that the progress has been made, and where are we going? Maybe we'll come to that part.
Okay. I would say personally, I know y'all can chime in on this,
Yeah.
like, kind of vision wise, we've shifted, our production from, we used to, like when we first kind of started, we felt like we were more like in the entertainment business. It sounds
Yeah.
really bad to say, but it's like we were trying to wow people with all things production. It's like we wanted the big flashy lights and like all the things, because that was like a movement that was happening within the big church.
Big culture.
Yeah,
of church.
just like
yeah,
church
I would agree
culture.
with that.
Yeah.
And I would say probably 6 years ago, something like that, we kind of made a shift, where just in general, I had gone to Pastor Tad and said, hey man, I just feel like this feels wrong. Like it just feels wrong now. And he was like, man, I've been feeling the same thing. So let's make some shifts. And so now I would say like production just kind of supports now, instead of like, I feel like production used to take the forefront. Everything was about production. It was all about how are we going to do the light show? How are we going to do this crazy song with this crazy auto tune thing that's happening? Or how are we going to, like, it was always production. And so, now I think it's kind of shifted to where it's like, hey, we're just here to worship Jesus, and then production gets to like support that. So it's been a big shift, I would say, even for like us, just as the church has gotten bigger. And I don't want to get too deep into this because I know like me and Christian would sit here and talk about this for the rest of the day. As the church has gotten bigger, we've been able to afford nicer things,
Yeah.
which helps a lot.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we were running on a raggedy system for a long time, patching together stuff, literally duct tape and zip ties. And it was like, just that's what was holding the auditorium together. And so we've been able to kind of upgrade some things and make some things better. And that's been huge for us, to be able to do what we do now, and not be a distraction. So it's not just because we like new shiny flashy things. It's like, some of the things that we were doing, some of the equipment that we had was problematic, and it was causing distractions in the room.
Right.
And so it's like, hey guys, we need to fix this. We need to kind of overhaul.
We don't have enough zip ties.
We don't have enough zip ties.
Only so much gas tape.
We still have zip ties.
Yeah, they're still in use.
We buy those in bulk still, but we have to use less of them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went back into the back and you saw some of the stuff that we're unplugging and plugging every Sunday,
Oh yeah.
it's a rat's nest back there. It used to make me
Intimidates me.
insane. I couldn't walk back there and look at it because I'd get so frustrated with all this stuff, and you wouldn't know where it was. You're literally picking up 5 wires and plugging them in, unplugging them. Not this one, not this one. Oh, that's the one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's go start church. You know, what I mean, it would be like that on Sunday.
yeah.
Sometimes it was tough.
What was interesting too, and a lot of people don't know this. So when the church actually shut down for a year of COVID, it kind of forced us to reset production wise, because what was happening, we weren't having services on Sunday mornings. So I was here and I was bored because we weren't preparing for Sunday services. So we were doing a lot of recording. And so I basically redid everything production in this room. I gutted the entire room and put everything back all by myself, which was fun because I enjoyed doing that. But when we came back from COVID and started having services again,
Nobody knew where stuff was.
everything was just in my brain.
Yeah.
I thought everything was plugged up. So everybody's stressed out. And so what I thought I was doing good, I thought I was trying to do something good, but I ended up messing it up. So because I was the only person that could fix it if something went.
Yeah.
And so what we've been trying to do over the past year and a half, something like that, is overcome all of that problem that I created for everybody. And so
There's a lot more planning, I think, for the future.
Yeah.
And so even as far as like Easter,
Yeah.
planning what that's going to look like
Right.
next year and so on and so on. And so that makes it a lot more streamlined for everybody. I mean, all areas to know where it is, how to fix it, what to do.
Yeah.
Not just one person or 3 people, multiple people, including volunteers. Which
Yeah,
is
there's a
big
whole
deal.
team.
Yeah, the whole thing.
we came in, even after that. And I actually had Christian and our sound guys, other sound guys that we have. I was like,
Podcast guys.
y'all tear all of our sound stuff apart and y'all put it back together. So y'all know how it's together. You know, it's like, those are the things that you don't think about when you're doing it. But yeah, it's actually, so I don't know if that answered your question at all, but hey.
I mean, I feel like it does answer the question of there is a culture of excellence. Like I think that there and trying to make sure that it is ongoing, that it's not reliant on one person. I think that your job has evolved a lot in the last several years with that of just being able to multiply yourself, and all of you being able to multiply yourself so that there are other people who can continue to lead and push the machine forward.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. It is always amazes me when I come in here just randomly throughout the week and there are just wires hanging from the ceilings and, honestly, you talking about it stressing you out, I can't understand how one wire looks different than another, but y'all will have 1,500 of them coiled up and set out, ready to put them back in place. And I don't get it. But y'all do. Y'all know what you're doing.
It's scary when you come in and there's a lift in the middle of church and it's like Tuesday and you got speakers hanging or not hanging.
Right?
Yeah, which is
Not hanging in that case.
And Sunday's coming.
Not hanging.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So we have strength finders. My number one strength is activator. So I am the guy who will decide on Monday that we're going to rip everything apart. And so I've done that to these guys a bunch of times. But you know what? We grow and we learn and we figure out how to put it back in. And
I feel like I'm the person that's like, get it done, get it done, get it done.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Project manager.
Oh yeah.
So as he's dropping stuff, I'm picking it up and trying to wrap it up and clean it. And he's dropping it and I'm cleaning it. You know,
Right.
let's not do it later. Let's do it now.
Yes.
Let's do it now.
I feel like it's a very complimentary team you have.
We do because
Done.
speaking of Strength Finders, my top one's responsibility, and I never quite understood it until this year. Where I'm just like, oh, this is the most boring thing you can have be your top thing. It's like, how am I going to be working a creative field whatsoever? And then it's
Why
just
do I
like,
have to be so responsible?
and then it's just like we start some on Monday. It's just like, all right, we're going to finish it, and it's going to look nice and tidy.
I
You know?
appreciate that about Joe.
Oh yeah.
He keeps me in check.
Oh yeah. We keep each other in check.
Keeps everybody in check.
Try to.
This is good. The right people in the right spots.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Christian, you mentioned Easter. So production on a Sunday morning is a beast in itself, but then you have events like Easter.
Yeah. Easter is different because we don't actually have Easter here at Hope Church.
Right.
And so we go to Williams High School, which is maybe a couple miles from here, but just traveling a couple miles is a big deal to basically take everything that we do here and then do it there in a auditorium at a high school for Easter morning. And it's usually one service, maybe 2. And if
Right.
it is 2 services, typically we have anywhere between 800 to 1,400. I think we've had
How
in
big
one
that
service.
is huge. Yeah.
And it's a huge auditorium. And so to try to set up what we do here, there, I mean, it takes a lot of people. It's a
Yeah.
lot of volunteers that go
Yeah.
into it. I mean, we might have 40, 50 people,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
day before.
I was about to say, because we get almost 24 hours
Yeah.
before
Yeah, that's it.
to
Generally,
set
yeah.
up, and that's it. You don't get in before then.
And so we've kind of streamlined that. That's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. It was like we used to hire somebody to come in, a production team or rent equipment and things like that to help set up. And then we would come behind and do the things that we need to do to fill in those roles. But now they've got it streamlined and they've done a good job of actually ordering all the equipment ahead, including the wiring,
Yeah.
speakers, everything, just to go into one area and be able to install it and do it within maybe a couple hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a big deal
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
to do that in a couple hours.
I think what's cool about that, though, I mean, so something that Christian and I have talked about a lot, it's like, what does like Hope Church worship sound like? You know,
yeah.
like what is our sound? Like, how does
Yeah.
that, so that's something that we've really been working on. So what was hard about Easter when we were hiring a company to come in and run sound, it was like they would bring in a soundboard that maybe Christian's not familiar with. So then they would have a guy running the sound while Christian's trying to tell that guy what to do, what to turn up, how to
Right.
EQ, how to do all that stuff. And so we were just like, we're not doing that anymore because it's way too stressful. I would rather Christian be in that space with the sound console that he uses every Sunday. And that way he can work on getting us to sound like we're supposed to sound, like
Right.
how Hope Church sounds.
or volunteers that's running it,
Yeah.
whichever way it was. We also they would bring their own PA system, so there's speakers and subs, and it would be ridiculous because they thought it was a concert. 1,400 people, they assumed it was 20,000. So the subs in
I
that
got in
place.
trouble that first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had. They're talking about people looking at you. I didn't have people looking. I had people coming back. I wasn't even running the sound. I was standing beside the sound guy. It was so bad. People were coming, telling me they're having a heart attack. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'll tell him to turn it down. You know, but I mean, it's so much to do.
True.
But yeah, it was.
I feel like Christian needs. We need.
a hug.
We need.
Yeah.
No, I need a
Give him
room.
a hug
I
when you
need
see
like
him,
curtains
please.
surrounding me. If I had curtains I could pull around me where I could just see the stage and nobody could see me, it'd be great.
Oh,
You get to like one of those like hunting like ghillie suits as well.
Oh, yes.
So no one just sees you.
I'll come here wearing camouflage.
Oh yeah.
I can't see me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Black shirt look great.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they are helpful, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I will say that I feel like, and I don't want to, this is not me raining on anybody else's team, but this production team, I do feel like you guys are very proactive. You're very good at, every Monday you guys get together and have a critique of the Sunday before. And in doing that, you are prepping for the following Sunday. Like you were saying, okay, this is what we will do better next time. This is how we will be flawless next time. We will be unnoticed next time. And the same, for big events like Easter, getting together afterwards and just making sure, okay, hey, we were able to set up in this amount of time. Next year, we need this and this and this to happen so that we can be more efficient with that time.
Right.
So I admire that about you guys. I think that you guys are very good at planning and preparing and executing all of it. You do it all really well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And honestly, too, like that's us as like a staff culture, because like, I mean, it's kind of our job to make sure we're doing things well, but it's like honestly, even more so, like that comes from like our volunteer culture as well, because it's just like you get people from all different walks of life. It's just like you have people like Christian, some other guys like they run businesses, like
Yeah.
do all these
many
crazy
different-
things during the week, but then like at the same time, while they're passionate about all those things, like they're so passionate about like what we're doing at Hope Church. So it's just like you have people like Christian and even others like that'll come like during the week to be like, hey, we know these things were kind of getting a little screwy this week. Let's come in and try and work on them so that way we're not running into it first thing Sunday morning. And it's just like, man, just to have that start from like not only just like top down, but like the other way around as well too. It's just like,
great point.
man, it just makes for such an exciting team to be a part of.
Because there's ownership beyond
Yeah.
staff ownership.
Right.
Which is
Absolutely.
awesome. And so
Yeah.
part of that comes from like releasing it too. So like for me, that was really hard. Like that was probably that was one of the hardest things because I was definitely a micromanager, and so I feel like releasing it, and then you kind of see like, Christian was over at my house on Sunday night, and my wife's rolling her eyes because she's like, all y'all talk about is sound stuff, and it's like I get it, but it's because he's passionate about it. And like, I've kind of released it to where he feels like he's owning it now. Like he's got full ownership of it. And it's like, hey dude, like use me as a resource, but I don't need to be in here doing this anymore. You know what I mean? And so like now he's doing that. He's training people and releasing it to people. And so it's just
That's
it's fun
healthy.
to kind of watch that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So we're kind of going to start to wind down. I would like to know, and Christian, you've touched on just a couple of times that people look at you and things happen, but what are the biggest production fails that you're like, why?
So many.
As we were preparing for this podcast, they were talking about how this could take a really long time. So we're not going to share all the production fails. Okay. Just the ones that really stick out and keep you from sleeping at night.
I think about Easter, honestly. The first time we set up in Williams. We had planned on doing sound checks at a certain time. We had people come out. We had volunteers help set up. We had that production team come in and bring in equipment. And I don't think we did a sound check. I don't think we had any practice. I don't think any of that happened until the next day, Sunday morning, to start Easter service.
It was live.
It was pretty much live.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty much a nightmare just going into that. We had all these people sitting around hoping that they were going to get to test an instrument, check a mic, do something. And it never happened. And it was very scary going into Sunday, knowing that, hey, this might work. Yeah. Might not.
Yeah.
We may just have acoustic guitars and people tambourines and getting loud on stage. I don't know what's going to happen, but it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And so I see that as like, oops, that was a fail. But honestly, this Sunday was a fail. And we had some fails on this Sunday. Any Sunday.
Oh, yeah, we had a
little
busy
fails.
Sunday.
That was pretty scary going into Sunday thinking about that Easter for sure, for me personally.
But the growth that came from that for the next year,
We'll do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Whole new plan. New thing. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. What else?
Yeah. I have two specifically for me. One was the first time I ran front of house because this happened to be the one week that everybody that does any kind of audio was gone. So I was just like, all right, I'm doing it this week. Whereas like Christian did get that it might get loud. I got that it did get loud.
Yeah.
Because
It got too loud.
because I have hearing damage. So like there's just certain frequencies that I just don't hear. So I'm like, I was like, oh, this mix is good. Not thinking about it. And then, man, it was actually Dustin that came in. He's like, hey, just so you know, like there's things shaking out here in the lobby. I was just like, I guess I can turn it down.
We were putting the TVs fall off the walls.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I wasn't even here.
You were here. Neither
what
y'all
we
were.
have.
That's why I was there.
Days
Yeah.
like that, it's like,
Oh, yeah,
really?
it's fun.
Wait, where's everybody at? Why did we all plan on vacation? See, then
Yeah.
you married into
Yeah.
family, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, well, now the whole
Family
family's
vacation,
gone on
now everybody's
vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, like, another one I had was actually probably like 2 weeks ago. I had to jump in on camera real quick because one of our volunteers was running behind. I just threw my back out, and it's like, I love this. Like, it was like camera 2, which is like our crowd shot. I was like, something's like my favorite. If I jump in and roll, it's like my favorite thing to do. But I was just like, all right, this is heavy. My back hurts. I'm just going to jump in and figure it out. I was like, I'll set the camera up in a minute. So I set the camera up at 10 seconds to go, and everything is wrong on it. Like, it is like super bright. The screen's upside down that I'm reading. And I'm just like, how did this even happen?
Trying to
so like,
remember,
I'm starting. So like, I'm like halfway through worship, and I'm having to like, I'm literally like watching the screen over there. I don't have my in-ear set right, so I can't even hear what Chris is directing. And then at one point, I think he goes like, he's like, someone needs to lay off the coffee over there. And I'm just like, yeah. And I was just like, I had to, I was like, hey, I got to stop for a minute, just like get
Please
my
don't
life
use my
together.
shots. Please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, let's hold back the service.
Oh, people don't realize those handheld shots. Those cameras are very heavy.
They are heavy.
They are very heavy.
We have a guy who has like issues with his wrist. Like his wrist kind of locks up, and so like he had to stop volunteering in that position. He's like, I can't do it. Camera's too heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like it's so yeah. You get a workout.
You do.
I feel
Yeah.
like every now and then you'll see the person on stage just kind of we get to a point where they can stop and they are like bending over and stretching, and it's because your back is
Oh, yeah.
is killer on your back.
I was about to say, if you've seen me run camera before, I will lean up against the wall at some point during the worship set because sometimes you just need a break.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Brian, do you have any fails?
Oh,
You never fail. Right?
Gosh, yes, I have a ton. I don't know. I remember one specific Sunday, Pastor Tad, y'all, we really do have a heart for like trying to set Pastor Tad up as best as possible, from worship, from production, like all things that we do. Like we really try to set him up to where when he comes out, he's totally confident and diving into the message, right? And so, but one Sunday,
where he's going with this.
one Sunday, oh my gosh, y'all. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
But one Sunday, our we have what's called a it's like a online key kind of thing that you have to have plugged into our lighting computer for the lighting computer to work. Somehow it had disconnected. And it was like a timer. We started timing it to figure out every like 3.5 minutes, all the lights would cut off and then they would come back on. And it was like, what is happening? Like it happened like 10 times. Tad didn't even miss a beat. He just kept on preaching. Like he was just going, but it did that a bunch of times. We finally realized that it was that little license key thing that like had barely come unplugged out of the back of the lighting computer. And that was horrible. I felt horrible. But man, he did a great job.
Yeah.
He just
Go
kept,
Pastor.
He just kept on going. He did a great
Completely
job.
dark. Back on.
And then
Completely dark.
Am I
Yeah, it was
correct? That
horrible.
it was like the Sunday right after we'd had the tornado. And so everybody was already on edge.
All the alarms are going off. Everybody's phone was blowing up with these alarms in the middle
Right.
of service. Yeah. That's
So the other one, I'm just getting it really quick. It was I wasn't on production that week, but I was actually leading worship that week with Dallin, which almost never happens. It's some of my favorite Sundays here. But we were singing a song, and I'm glad we took it off. It's a song called Lion by Elevation Worship.
Yeah.
Amazing song. But what most people don't know is like online, most people listen with like headphones and different things. So you can hear vocal pitchiness a little bit more online
Right.
than you can in the room because the room kind of reverberates and it has so we do use just a tiny bit of like vocal tuning online.
Let me be clear.
To get
We
it right.
don't use it that much anymore.
Right.
Because of this.
Get it right. So we're singing Lion, and we came in singing this song, like going for it. But whoever was running broadcast that day had the wrong tuning online. And so we came in, and it was like the worst T-Pain ever heard. And it's totally in the wrong key. Nobody was singing it right. We didn't know until late. We had broadcast this out. It was like Easter Sunday or something.
Yeah, it was Easter like
Yeah,
3
we
years.
were like
I want to
broadcast
look-
this
I want to
out
go
to,
back.
like everything, and we, oh my gosh, it's like one of the only times we ever had to go in on Monday and take down the services.
Oh,
we were
I
like,
can't
just
go back.
take them down. We're not even gonna let.
They were that
people do
bad
anymore.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty bad. Those things happen. Though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And you learn from them. And you
Yes,
move
Oh,
on.
yeah. That's
And,
right. Yeah.
and it's fun to get to sit back and reminisce. That's
Oh, yeah.
good stuff.
Didn't learn a lesson. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really hard lessons.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, I've got one last question for you guys. Okay, so going back to my initial, and I'm in next steps, and I'm telling people about volunteering and just the different ministry areas, and I feel like it can be clear that if you're serving in kids ministry, that this is ministry. You're teaching them about Jesus, that kind of thing. How would you say that production is ministry for you? Like, how does that satisfy this desire to just ooze Jesus while you're running a camera? How do you tie it together, I guess?
Yeah, I think for me, and this has really only kind of happened within the past month or two, just kind of praying over this next season that I'm in here, where it's just all right, this is my time to lock in the vision for what production's going to be for the next year or two, kind of set some of the things in place to kind of keep up with growth of what we're doing. And the biggest thing that's kind of been echoed throughout that season, even just things I've been praying for, things I've been involved with our team, is just use it as a time of discipleship and community.
Yeah.
It's because at the end of the day, we're spending 4 hours together. So a lot of times that tends to feel like a grow group almost at times. We're getting that time together to spend time to get to know each other, but also investing in each other. And then even too, one of the biggest things I'm kind of working on while setting the vision is just invest in a lot of our team, where it's just a lot of our team is just super talented anyway.
Yeah.
But more so it's just training them to be hey, you like me on a Sunday morning, float around and just kind of learn a little bit of everything. Cause just and stuff like that, where it's living out the calling that God has placed on everyone's life, of just serve the church, Yeah. So it's it's been kind of cool to kind of see that being modeled, but then going after it too with our team. Where like everyone's just like, we just want to, continuously like grow in our walk with Jesus. And this is kind of one of the ways we do it by figuring out, new ways, bigger ways to serve the church.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
That's a good answer, Joe.
Thanks.
Beat that.
Beat that.
Yeah. Who's next?
Who's that?
I mean, for me, I guess the form of worship that I actually take on is the sound and the sound body. I mean, I train and run sound differently, I think, than a lot of other sound engineers. There's a lot of guys that are very techie and it's all about this frequency and that frequency and hitting these right marks and doing things like that, which is important. But at the same time, for me, I look across the room and I try to feel that room and how the Holy Spirit is moving through the room. So when I see the Holy Spirit moving through the room, it might be where I feel like I need to lift and do things and work, and I know that whatever we're doing collectively as a team, whether it be sound on the stage, worship, in production in general, is working.
Yeah.
And you can see it. And when people are not looking at me for something wrong and they're looking at the stage and their hands are up and people are singing, then I know in that moment that it's good. And the Holy Spirit is moving, and I just feel that rush of Jesus kind of coming through me.
That is really
And I want people that we train to get to that point, to feel that as well, not to just be so focused on what I'm doing is right and hitting these buttons and doing these switches and doing all the stuff that that running sound takes. To me, that is my form of worship. I can't sing, obviously. My family does. I don't. So for me to sit back and see that happen, I really feel like it's a good day.
Yeah.
That part of what's happening in that service is a good day.
Yeah.
And that does walk into Tad coming on stage because I know he feels that too.
Yeah.
If you can see Tad sitting in the corner, hands up, looking around, looking at people's other hands up, and getting
He's
excited.
getting fueled by that.
And it feels good to know that day is a successful day.
Yeah.
One, for our service, but also know that the Spirit is moving and that we're getting prepared for something big that's going to happen in that next step. And so that's for me. And that's why I do it. I mean, I'll come in every day if I've got to, just to make that happen over.
Yeah. I'd even kind of echo some stuff going along with that too. That I think a lot of people like the stereotype of like a production ministry is it's just kind of like almost like, your nerdy introverts or like, it's a very like technical logistical thing, but and even I had that too, even like jumping into this position where it's just like, am I going to like not do the creative things I've been used to doing or whatever in my career? And it's just like, it's not like that at all. It's like, it's such a, just like, a creative expression, a very like, spirit filled, worship filled expression where it's just like, yeah, we don't look like we're worshiping at all, but like, or even like being like super creative, like, hitting a mouse on the keyboard or whatever, mouse click or whatever. But it's just like there's so much like, like Jesus just in like all of what we're doing over there. And it's just like, and it's using like the gifts he's given us to just like express that, whether it's just like, hey, I want to take this shot here because I think it's going to feel great on the live stream, or, hey, I want to, bump this thing in the audio line as well, just to kind of like really kind of like push this moment through.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it is such a fulfilling like thing creatively for everybody. And even like on all spectrums of like, we have so many like different personalities on the team too. So it's just like, it's not just like this one universal thing a lot of people think it is. Like it's the body of Christ at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's good.
We don't want people to forget though, the like Holy Spirit's at the center of everything that we do. And so like that comes from just these two guys too. Like Christian knows the band. Like he knows the band well because he comes in and spends, and I tell all of our new sound guys who come in, I'm like, the most important thing you can do is not to learn all the technical things, but to learn the band. Like to go know them, to know the worship leaders, because Christian will come in, spend time in the green room with the worship leaders, you know what I mean? And the band on Sunday mornings. And it's because, and I'm going to talk about cameras in just a second, but like, it's because when you can watch and you know them, you can tell when like Holy Spirit is on somebody or something or something's happening.
Yeah.
So like, it's important that Christian's paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Because he needs to be able to like, hey, I'm going to turn this worship leader up. Hey, I'm going to make sure, hey, this dude back here playing piano is like, there's a moment here that's happening. And he needs to be able to be in tune with that to make sure that what is actually happening on stage and how Holy Spirit's moving on the stage is being translated
See.
into sound
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's being projected back out into the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're not paying attention to those things, then you're going to miss a moment. And so we say the same thing even to like camera people,
Yeah.
like Joe's talking about getting crowd shots. A lot of times that's like, hey, if you're running a camera, it's your job, unless you're on camera one, which is the main follow camera.
Right.
If you're running the camera, it's your job to see where Holy Spirit's moving in the room and point your camera towards that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not trying to get the fancy shots or the flashy shots or the cool shots or anything like that. It's like, we're literally trying to capture what God is doing in the room and send that out and broadcast that. And so it's like, so all of that is like, you have to, it's not just like, hey, you're this picky production person that can come in and run a camera. It's like, no, you need to be intentional about your quiet time. You need to spend time with Jesus. You need to spend time and know what it feels like to see Holy Spirit moving. Because if you don't, you're going to miss it.
You won't
And
recognize
it's
it.
like,
Yeah.
so anyway, that's just like high level kind of all of those things. But everybody in the room has to see it with that mindset. Otherwise, it's like, what are we even doing? We're just like running a like.
We're a position.
Yeah.
It's the body that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Christ working together like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Y'all are cool people.
Hey,
You know,
try sometimes.
Try.
man, I've enjoyed this.
Introverted people.
I mean,
Bunch of introverts over here.
You're only just super loud and talk a lot on the podcast, but
It's a good
I
time.
really have.
Longest podcast ever.
Oh yeah.
I have enjoyed talking to you guys. So usually the way that we end these podcasts is with just kind of like some fun questions. But with you guys, I thought maybe we could do some trivia to see who's the smartest.
Ooh, let's go.
And it's rock and roll trivia. So I figured that probably. Christian, how you feel about that?
Joe's gonna
I
win.
didn't study rock
Yeah, I
and
was
roll.
about to say I just got trivia this morning at my workout group and just dominated it.
Joe's gonna win.
All right.
So I'm on a hot streak right now.
That's wrong.
I'm on a hot streak at the moment.
Okay, so I guess the way I'll do this is I just like say your name. Don't look at the questions already,
read
Joe.
He's cheating already.
Joe,
Read 'em. It's
you
upside
are
down.
already ahead.
Yeah.
Fucking stuff upside down. Man.
No, not like that.
That's not a production qualification.
Nah.
Okay, so I'll read the question. If you have the answer, say your name, and so we'll know who answers. Like who.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? All right. I feel like this is going to be rough. Okay, it's fine. What is the name of the guitarist in the band Guns N' Roses?
Oh wait,
Christian. You have to say your name, Christian.
Christian.
Okay. Yes, Christian.
You don't know.
5, 4.
Slash.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Well done. Okay. Does anybody know his like real name?
It is Saul Hudson.
Very good. Very good. But Christian got the point. That's okay.
Yeah,
You got the point.
I got his band name.
You did. Who got that one?
No, Axl Rose.
Yeah.
It's like Guns N' Roses leader.
Well done. All right. Which classic song can be used to perform CPR? Come on, y'all.
Oh,
Joe, if you
yes.
don't get this,
Oh my gosh! I just watched this episode too, which is even more annoying.
Grey's Anatomy. Is what it's called?
No, it's, they joke about it in the office.
Oh, okay, that's better.
you got this.
It's "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees.
There you go. Very
I was about to do the other song they did.
Brian, I thought you might want to get that one. You probably
Yeah.
know this now. You don't watch the
Oh,
office?
yeah.
My brain does not retain useless information.
That is not useless.
Yeah.
What if you have to
That
do
is
CPR?
Oh man.
What if you're doing trivia right now, dude?
Okay. All right. So we're at Christian 1, Joe 1. Brian, you got to catch up. We've only got 5
Yeah.
questions.
Oh, we were gonna ask like technical questions.
I don't.
I'm real excited about this.
No, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
I don't know the answer to those, so I couldn't ask them. Anyway, okay. In the Air Tonight is one of the signature songs of which artist?
Christian.
Okay. Well done, Christian.
Slid in there, man.
Phil Collins.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
Go
good.
lick 'em. No,
Yeah.
Oh, Brian. All right, Brian, maybe you'll get this one. All right. What famous guitarist is known for playing with his teeth? Brian.
Joe.
Yes, Joe.
I know Jimi Hendrix has done it before.
Very good. Jimi Hendrix is the answer.
Yeah.
man.
All right, Brian, I don't think there's any way that you can catch up.
You know, Phil left.
Guitar questions for the professional guitar player.
Yeah.
You know, it's-
You know.
Brian plays guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, professionally.
Okay.
You mix guitar.
I got my hustle, man. So I already won.
All right, last question, and maybe we'll split this up into. There's 4 parts to this question, or 4 answers to this question.
wow.
So this will define who wins. Okay.
Okay.
Who are the 4 members of the Beatles?
Oh, I got you, Joe.
Yes, Joe.
It is Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, Ringo Starr.
All right, Joe won.
Joe won. All right, we said he was going to win.
Yeah.
I need 2 of those.
You know,
And the other 2,
It's
not so
fine.
much.
Yeah. Well done, Joe.
Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah,
You
great
work
competition.
smarter
Dude,
than us.
I'm
Oh, no, you
I'm
kept up,
impressed, man. Because like I know what happens for me sometimes is like my brain shuts down.
Yeah.
Crap. I don't know.
My thing is like my brain doesn't shut down. My ability to respond quick shuts down.
You're like,
Where it's just like I'm thinking all the answers, but then it's just like I'm just moving at like a snail's pace.
I got the answer.
I got it. Just give me a minute.
And I don't know the answer. I'm like, Christian.
Yeah, he's going for it.
I started thinking, I'm like, wait.
That's my name.
Yeah.
I'll say that out loud. Yeah. It's like, no, I got the answer. You are awesome.
Y'all were fun. Okay, hey, I appreciate you guys being on here. Any last shameless plugs for production? It's a fun place to be. I will
Yeah,
say that.
it's a good time.
We
Please.
do have fun.
Yeah, we have so much fun.
I think you can probably tell from this
Yeah.
episode. I hope that that's translated well. All right, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny.
Absolutely.